Welcome to the testing laboratory. I am your lead tester, and today we are running a highly classified, incredibly high-stakes explainer. What we're doing right now is stress testing those viral internet study hacks against the brutal, absolutely uncompromising reality of the Cambridge AS and A-level Arabic language mark scheme. Specifically, we are putting syllabus code 8680 directly under the microscope. Look, we see these same study lies circulating online every single year, right? Things like, hey, just write more pages and you'll automatically get a higher grade, or just use massive, complicated dictionary words and the examiner will be so impressed they'll give you top marks. Well, today we are putting those exact claims into our diagnostic machine. We're going to break them down, expose the structural physics of exactly why they fail in the real exam, and then replace them with the bulletproof, officially syllabus-approved strategies that actually secure those top-tier marks. All right, let's dive right into this.
Now this quote right here, this reveals the exact battleground where your final grades are decided. We are tackling Passage 2 comprehension today, and specifically we're looking at the quality of language criteria, which is worth 5 marks. Now I know what you might be thinking, 5 marks? That doesn't sound like a mountain, but trust me, in the Cambridge ecosystem, the difference between a solid B and a flawless A-star almost always comes down to these exact 5 marks. And look at this quote, we pulled this directly from the official principal examiner reports. It says, the classic mistake is providing generic answers not specific to the question context. Always link every point to the given scenario. Guys, this is the ultimate fatal warning. We are going to show you exactly what the examiners are scanning for and how avoiding this one massive trap is literally your golden ticket.
So, here is today's diagnostic protocol to systematically dismantle all that terrible internet study advice. We're going to hit the myth specifications, run our subjects through the mark volatility grid, deploy our framework patch, run a quick viewer lie detector audit, and then wrap it up with the final verdict.
Starting with Section 1, the myth specifications. Let's load the cognitive target question onto our primary testing screen and introduce our test subjects for today, Alex and Sam.
Okay, so on the left side of your screen, we have tester Alex. Alex represents myth number 1, which is that age-old lie, if you write more pages, you automatically get more marks. Alex absolutely loves generic pre-written templates. It's just massive page dumping. But notice how this answer is far, far too vague. There is literally 0 specific detail pulled from Passage 2. Now on the right side, we've got tester Sam. Sam is deploying massive, incredibly complex words, perfectly representing myth number 2. Sam legitimately thinks that using advanced vocabulary compensates for completely missing the prompt. Sam completely ignores the core command word. There is absolutely no direct, tailored analytical link to what the question actually asked. So let's take both of these approaches and run them through the autopsy machine.
Moving to Section 2, the mark volatility grid. Let's take these flawed, structurally compromised answers and see exactly why they trigger immediate marking penalties. We aren't guessing here. We are using the precise academic benchmarks required for Passage 2.
The crucial failure point is right here in this table. You see, Cambridge targets 3 very distinct cognitive domains: knowledge and understanding, analysis and evaluation. And here is the secret. The assessment framework strictly prioritizes analytical depth over superficial breadth. Because Alex just page dumped a generic, pre-memorized template, the grading system instantly flags a 0 in analysis. There's no depth there, only endless, rambling breadth. And what about Sam? Well, because Sam just threw massive dictionary words completely out of context, the evaluation score flatlines at a hard 0. The structure of both their paragraphs entirely collapses under examiner stress testing. Why? Because successful candidates have to demonstrate competence across all 3 of these domains simultaneously. You cannot just fake it with superficial vocabulary or by writing endlessly until your hand cramps.
And the raw data from the official Cambridge Examiner reports completely backs us up. It confirms exactly why Alex and Sam's approaches are nothing short of catastrophic for your grade. Here are the top 3 complaints straight from the principal examiners. Number 1, answers are way too vague and lack specific details straight from the text. Number 2, students entirely forget to check format and presentation. That means proper headings, correct terminology, and clear, readable annotation are just missing. And number 3, which is absolutely the ultimate sin, answers are not specific to the context given. Let me be incredibly clear here. If you do not explicitly link your fundamental principles to the unfamiliar context of the specific passage in front of you, you will lose those 5 quality of language marks instantly.
All right, Section 3, the framework patch. We need to completely wipe Alex and Sam's bad habits from the system and deploy the syllabus-approved methodology that actually wins marks.
So, this is the official method marks strategy.
This is how you build an absolute fortress of an answer. In Passage 2 Comprehension, marks are quite literally awarded for your process. You cannot just magically jump to the final answer. First, you have to explicitly extract your data from the texts and tables. Second, you interpret the relationships within that specific data. And third, you draw solid, evidence-based conclusions. We always recommend injecting a high-yield framework right here, like the Peel structure: point, evidence, evaluate, link. You have to literally weld your extracted data perfectly to your analytical conclusion. Without showing the examiner that explicit process of extraction and interpretation, your conclusion is just floating in midair, completely unsupported and practically begging to be penalized.
Now, for critical analysis and problem solving within that quality of language criteria, you must apply this strict deconstruct, solve, evaluate structural sequence. Take a look at these 5 steps. First, identify the given information. Then, break it down into logical steps. Third, solve it systematically. Fourth, actually pause and check your answer for reasonableness. Does it actually make sense? And finally, make justified recommendations. If Alex and Sam had just used this exact protocol instead of panicking and dumping those generic templates, they would have built an unshakable top-band paragraph. This right here, this is the core structural physics of a flawless Arabic language answer.
Which brings us to Section 4, System Pause. Warning lights are flashing in the lab right now. Look, before we reveal the final bulletproof patch, make sure you secure your own academic defense network. Take 1 second and subscribe to Ace the Exams. Make sure you hit that bell so bad advice never compromises your grades. All right, network secured, let's run our interactive viewer audit.
Okay, I'm putting you right in the lead tester seat for this one. This is our Spot the Fake shortcut assessment. I'm going to display a paragraph written using one of those wildly popular online writing templates. Your job is to locate the exact line where the logic breaks down and those quality of language marks are instantly tossed out the window. Scan the text block carefully. Let's see if you can spot it.
All right, time's up. Did you spot the massive structural roadblock? Here it is. The 2 texts share similarities. Text A is good, while text B is different. The logic completely breaks down right here. And why? Because the Cambridge syllabus strictly dictates that proper comparative analysis requires identifying similarities and differences, you must use specific comparative connectives, and most importantly, you have to support each comparison with actual evidence from the text. Just saying text A is good is purely descriptive. It's basically meaningless. The higher-order assessment objectives demand real evaluation. You have to evaluate the alternatives, compare the approaches, and justify your conclusions. This fake shortcut text block literally fails the descriptive, analytical, and evaluative levels all at exactly the same time.
And that brings us to the absolute holy grail of the Cambridge syllabus: connected conceptual understanding. This is the ultimate ability to exhibit fundamental principles that are entirely transferable to completely unfamiliar contexts. Guys, this is exactly what separates the top-performing A-star students from the rest of the pack. You simply cannot just memorize an essay offline and paste it into Passage 2. It will not work. You have to genuinely understand the fundamental principles of the Arabic language and then apply them dynamically to whatever weird, unfamiliar scenario or context the exam throws at you. It is entirely about your adaptability and your analytical depth, not your robotic memorization skills.
All right, moving into Section 5, Diagnostic Complete. The lab results are officially in. Let's look at the final data readout after running both strategies against the mark scheme.
The myth status bar confirms it. The myth of just writing more pages or using massive contextless jargon to trick the examiner, completely busted, utterly destroyed by the mark scheme. What is officially confirmed is logical, structured reasoning, and highly prioritized analytical depth. We ran Tester Alex and Tester Sam's rewritten responses, the ones where they actually use the extraction and evaluation protocols line by line, and the difference is literally night and day. They traded in all that vague, rambling fluff for laser-focused, context-specific analysis, and the marks skyrocketed.
By mastering these technical methodologies, applying the correct formats and headings, using the appropriate terminology, ensuring your annotation is crystal clear, evaluating the alternatives, and crucially, justifying every single recommendation you make, you build an absolutely unshakable response. So I need you to remember the 3 universal truths from today's lab session. Number 1, the 3-step command word scan. Always identify exactly what the prompt is asking before your pen even touches the paper. Number 2, the mark per minute budget rule. Do not write 10 pages for a 5-mark question. Prioritize your depth, not your word count. And number 3, the post-writing quality audit. Take the time to check your work for actual evidence and reasonableness.
This is exactly how you lock in those 5 quality of language marks and make that massive jump from a B to an A star.
Well, we have successfully neutralized today's terrible study advice, but we know there is always more of it out there. So, I want to hear directly from you. Drop a comment below sharing the weirdest, absolute most ridiculous exam hack you've seen trending online recently, so we can load it into the testing laboratory and stress test it in our next explainer. And remember to secure your defense network, subscribe to Ace the Exams, hit that notification bell for our weekly myth-busting sessions, and always remember, don't trust the viral hacks, trust the syllabus framework. I'll see you in the next explainer.